The rain hammered against the windows of my small apartment in Seattle, a city I had once loved. Now it just mirrored the storm inside me. My name is Silas, and at 44 I thought I had life figured out. I worked as a software architect for a tech firm, a stable job I enjoyed. My wife Tatum was a real estate agent, charismatic and driven. We'd been married for 15 years, a seemingly solid partnership built on shared dreams and mutual respect. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Tatum began working later, attending more networking events, and her phone became a sacred object, always face down, always password protected. I dismissed it as the normal ebb and flow of a busy life. After all, real estate could be cutthroat, and I trusted her implicitly. That was my first mistake. The first real crack appeared during our anniversary dinner. We were at the Pink Door, a charming Italian place downtown, a tradition we'd kept since our early dating days. Tatum was distracted, constantly checking her phone under the table. When I gently teased her about it, she snapped, "I have a client on the line, Silas. This is how I pay the bills." Her voice was sharper than I'd ever heard it, and a cold knot formed in my stomach. Later that week, I had to work late myself, pushing out a critical update to our software. I arrived home around 11 p.m. exhausted. The house was dark and I assumed Tatum was asleep. As I crept into the bedroom, I noticed her phone was glowing on the nightstand. Curiosity, something I hadn't felt in years, gnawed at me. I knew her password, our anniversary date. I told myself I was just checking the time. I wasn't. The screen lit up, revealing a string of text messages. My blood ran cold as I read them. They were from someone named Jarrett. "I can't stop thinking about last night," one message read. "You were incredible." My heart pounded in my chest, each beat a painful reminder of my naivete. I scrolled further. "I wish I could tell Silas I'm leaving him." "Don't worry, baby, soon I'll take care of everything." The world tilted on its axis. My Tatum, my wife, my partner, was having an affair with someone named Jarrett. I felt a wave of nausea, followed by a burning rage I'd never experienced before. I wanted to scream, to break things, to confront her immediately. But I knew I needed to be calm. I needed to gather evidence. I needed to understand the full extent of her betrayal. The next morning, I acted normal. I made Tatum breakfast, kissed her goodbye, and went to work. But my mind was racing. I couldn't focus on code. I spent the day researching ways to uncover an affair. I learned about spyware, hidden cameras, and private investigators. The thought of invading Tatum's privacy disgusted me, but I felt I had no choice. That evening, I installed a keylogger on our home computer, a subtle program that would record every keystroke. I also created a fake email account and used it to accidentally send Tatum an email containing a tracking pixel. This would tell me when and where she opened it. It felt dirty, but I justified it as self-preservation. The data started trickling in. Tatum was emailing Jarrett multiple times a day, often from coffee shops near her office. The keylogger revealed their rendezvous points, a secluded bar downtown, a motel on the outskirts of the city. The details were like daggers to my heart, each one twisting deeper than the last. I discovered Jarrett was a local contractor, someone Tatum had met through work. He was married himself, with 2 young children. The hypocrisy was astounding. They were both destroying their families for a fleeting moment of pleasure. I debated confronting Tatum. I imagined screaming matches, accusations, and denials, but I knew that wouldn't give me the satisfaction I craved. I wanted her to suffer the same pain I was feeling. I wanted her to lose everything. I decided on a different approach. I contacted a divorce lawyer, a sharp woman named Jeline. I explained the situation, providing her with the evidence I had gathered. She was sympathetic and assured me she could get me everything I deserved. "We can file for divorce based on adultery," Jeline said. "And with the evidence you have, we can likely secure a favorable settlement." I also contacted Jarrett's wife, a woman named Eliana. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I felt like I was betraying her, even though I was the one who had been betrayed. But I knew she deserved to know the truth. I met Eliana at a park near her house. She was a petite woman with kind eyes and a weary smile. I showed her the text messages, the emails, the evidence of their affair. She listened in stunned silence, her face growing paler with each passing moment. When I finished, tears streamed down her cheeks. "I had no idea," she whispered. "I thought we were happy. I apologized for being the bearer of bad news, but I told her she deserved to know the truth." We talked for hours, sharing our pain and our anger. We found solace in our shared experience, a strange bond forged in the fires of betrayal. Together, Eliana and I decided to expose Tatum and Jarrett. We contacted their employers, providing them with the evidence of their affair. We also leaked the story to a local news website. The fallout was swift and brutal. Tatum was fired from her real estate firm. Her reputation was ruined. Jarrett lost his contracting license and faced a lawsuit from his wife. Their affair was splashed across the headlines, a public spectacle of deceit and betrayal. Tatum was devastated. She called me, begging for forgiveness. She claimed she had made a mistake, that she still loved me, but her words rang hollow. I had seen the truth, and I could never trust her again. "It's over, Tatum," I said, my voice cold and detached. "I want a divorce." The divorce was quick and relatively painless. Tatum didn't contest it, knowing she had no leverage. I received a generous settlement, enough to start a new life, but the money didn't bring me happiness. The pain of Tatum's betrayal lingered, a constant reminder of my broken trust. I struggled with anger, resentment, and a deep sense of loss. Eliana and I remained friends, supporting each other through the aftermath of the affair. We found comfort in our shared pain, a connection that transcended our individual experiences. One day, Eliana suggested we take a trip together, a chance to escape our past and start anew. We flew to Italy, a country we had both dreamed of visiting. We explored ancient ruins, ate delicious food, and drank fine wine. We laughed, we cried, and we slowly began to heal. In Italy, I realized that Tatum's betrayal, while devastating, had also freed me. It had forced me to confront my own vulnerabilities, to reevaluate my priorities, and to embrace a new chapter in my life. I was no longer defined by my marriage or my past. I was free to create my own future. When we returned to Seattle, I felt like a different person. I had shed the weight of my past and embraced the possibility of a new love. Eliana and I started dating, cautiously at first, but with growing affection. We discovered a deep connection, a shared understanding that transcended our individual experiences. Life isn't perfect. The scars of Tatum's betrayal will always remain, but I have learned to forgive, to heal, and to love again. I am grateful for the lessons I have learned, even the painful ones. And I am optimistic about the future, knowing that even in the darkest of times, hope can still bloom. Several years passed. Eliana and I built a beautiful life together. We bought a small house on Bainbridge Island overlooking the Puget Sound. We filled it with love, laughter, and the joy of shared experiences. One day I received a letter from Tatum. It was handwritten, the familiar script tugging at my heartstrings. I hesitated before opening it, unsure if I was ready to confront the past. Inside, Tatum apologized for her betrayal. She admitted that she had been selfish and foolish, and that she deeply regretted the pain she had caused. She said that she had learned from her mistakes and was trying to rebuild her life. She was now working as a waitress and attending therapy. She also revealed that Jarrett had abandoned her after the scandal. He had moved to another state and started a new family, leaving her to face the consequences of their actions alone. Tatum ended the letter by wishing me happiness. She said that she was glad I had found love again and that she hoped I could eventually forgive her. I read the letter with a mix of emotions. I felt a pang of sadness for Tatum, but also a sense of closure. I realized that I had already forgiven her, not for her sake, but for my own. Holding on to anger and resentment would only poison my own happiness. I never responded to Tatum's letter. I didn't feel the need to. I had moved on, and she was no longer a part of my life. But I did send her a silent blessing, wishing her peace and healing. My story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It is a reminder that even after the most devastating betrayals, it is possible to find love, happiness, and a new beginning. It is a story of forgiveness, healing, and the enduring power of hope.